why do I feel so nervous? Jeez. Slight disclaimer, I am not a very serious person, which is something that you'll figure out as this video progresses. Just over a year ago, I started to tell the people close to me about my sexuality. I like girls, and if you did not know that already, hi, I like girls. To summarise, I figured that I liked women when I was around about 12, 13. I am now almost 17. At the time, all my friends were having crushes on guys and getting really into like Tom Daley and Harry Styles. When I was very into Kristen Stewart, Emma Stone, and Tay Jardine, and a few of my younger female teachers at the time. But that's a whole nother video. I've always been sort of rational. I thought it was natural to explore my sexuality because, well, it is. And at the back of my head, I always just blamed it on my crazy teenage hormones. Like, who cares if you have awkward fantasies about women? That doesn't mean you're not straight, right? Loads of people have girl crushes. Turns out that that was not the case for me. After getting really into social media, like Tumblr and Twitter and fandoms, I figured that yes, it is natural for me to explore my sexuality, but also that I am hella gay. I used to push it to the back of my mind a lot at the start, and just try not to think about it. That's one of my biggest flaws, where if I don't want to think about something or face something, I'll just push it to the back of my mind and act like it's not happening. I kept it to myself for quite a while. My Tumblr was always very secretive, so it was easy for me to document the things I was going through or reach out to other people via there. I was also able to vent about things like my depression and anxiety with the assurance that people kind of didn't know my identity and that I could kind of keep it low-key to a point. Between the age of about late 12ish and early 13, in my mind I identified as pansexual. It wasn't until about a year and a half ago that I came to the conclusion that I just like girls. Then onwards, all the time that I told people were either accidents or spur of the moment things. The first person that I had to see like every day that found out I like girls was my friend Sabrice. I kind of knew that she already had an idea. I think she was following me on Tumblr at the time. We were Facebook messaging each other, and I made a joke about how the only reason that I was going to my physiotherapy sessions was because my physiotherapist had a nice ass. I distinctly remember only using non-binary pronouns during that conversation and thinking that I was being really smart. And then she said, "Oh, so what's their name?" I, again, thinking that I was being really smart, by not saying the word she, Chloe. Instantly realised what I'd said, and I remember getting really defensive, being like, "Oh, I'm not a lesbian or anything." She was like, "That's cool." I continued to freak out by typing lol OMG about 1,000 more times. That was cool, she did already know, and then she kept it secret for about 6 or 7 months. In November 2014, I told my dad. I didn't plan to tell him. He was going to the shops and I was like, "I'm coming with you, we need to talk." I was all confident about it, but secretly my heart was racing like fuck. We drove to the local supermarket and we sat in the car park and I just started losing my shit. I just kept telling him that I had something to say, but I couldn't say it. I thought that he probably knew, or at least had some idea, so I let him guess. And I had to tell him that no, I wasn't pregnant about 10 times. So in the end I just told him to go into the store and that I would text him whilst he was in there and tell him what I wanted to say. Now, I have started texts off in weird ways before, and I also like to think that I am a very funny person. Possibly more funny than I actually am. I don't think my dad found this one too funny. I started off the text to my dad by writing in capital letters, "I killed a guy," and then proceeded to tell him that I was very much kidding and that I just like girls. It certainly softened the blow, but I did scare the shit out of him when the first line of text came up on his notification bar. And we drove around our little town for a bit and we spoke about life and we spoke about everything, and he told me that he wouldn't tell anybody unless I wanted him to. And he was very supportive. Around the end of December 2014 and the beginning of early January 2015, I got sick of it all. I was really depressed and I was struggling a lot with paranoia, and I couldn't spend time with my family because I just felt guilty. I'd actually told one of my older sisters accidentally She was looking at my phone and I had a picture of Carmilla and Laura, so Holstein from the web series Carmilla, and she looked at it and it was two girls kissing and she was like, "Why is this on your phone?" So I told her and that was fine, and then about a week later I told my other older sister, and then my dad told my mum for me by showing her the text I sent him, and then my mum told, I think, both of my brothers, and then like distant relatives and stuff kind of found out. But yeah, they all took it very well and they were all very supportive, which was cool. I knew the only way to tell my friends and the people at school was to do what I do best and start some shit. So I started off by trying to make it subtly obvious. I'd constantly tweet about girls and crushes I had on girls, and here are a few of my favourite tweets. But apparently no one got it. People would always joke around a lot about how I was totally going to be the one to turn out to be a lesbian and take it to extremes, but it turns out that nobody actually thought I was one. So I set what I'd like to call the last piece of bait. I think I tweeted something along the lines of, "My sister's reaction to me coming out. You like boobs?" And then I just went to bed, and when I woke up, the whole world knew. By the time I got to school the next morning, about 85% of my year knew. And to add to the drama of it, because I'm a complete shit stirrer, I deleted the tweet before first lesson and replaced it with a tweet saying, "If you are looking for the tweet, it is gone." Most people were cool with it. Some people were apologetic about the jokes that they had made for the past 5 years. Some other boys thought it would be funny to make jokes at my expense, but it all kind of cleared over pretty quickly. The thing I loved the most were people messaging me with things like, "Oh my god, is it true that you came out on Twitter?" Like, no, I did not come out on Twitter. I just tweeted something that made everybody know that I had came out. It sort of turned into like Chinese whispers, because not a lot of people had actually seen that first tweet. So it was very funny to hear variations of what people thought that I had tweeted. My camera is very much about to die. I am 100% certain that there are people watching this video that see me from day-to-day life that had no idea that I was gay. Because as you can tell from this video, I am bad at just straight up telling people, no pun intended. So if you did not know, now you know. Ultimately, I am telling this story because when I was in the process of figuring out my sexuality and coming out, I probably watched every single coming out video that there was. And videos like these are the things that helped me the most. And being able to add to the collection of videos out there is actually a real honour, and it makes me feel really proud. I just want to emphasise how lucky I am to have such supportive friends and family and all that crap. But seriously, like, looking back now, my coming out story has a lot of humorous elements to it. I cannot express how grateful I am just to have been so lucky with it all. So thanks for watching. All my social media links are in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. I make videos every Sunday and I will see you next week.